I have a lot more questions, as you can see, but I'm going to leave a lot of questions for the cast, for our friends in the media. So I'm going to be handing the floor over to you. Please raise your hand. We'll have mics sent out to you. बताइए किसको सवाल पूछ रहे हैं? There's a lady there right at the back.
नमस्कार, मैं हूँ आपकी रेडियो की हीरोइनी रोहिणी 91.9 FM रेडियो नशा से. मेरे शो का नाम दिया था अनिल कपूर ने, and that is why my show is called Jhakas Morning. Sir, you're looking fantastic. A big hand for Anil ji, please. Thank you. Satish,
say something new, yeah.
Say something new. Okay, can I say you are definitely the youngest looking Nana there ever will be? Sir, वो तो नहीं है ना?
All in good time.
है ना?
Guys, all in good time.
तो yes, सतीश जी और अनिल जी, आप दोनों से ये सवाल है मेरा, और वो है ये कि ये जो जुगलबंदी है आप दोनों की, सालों से हम देखते आए हैं. You guys are literally our two favorite people to watch on the screen since the 90s. अनिल सर, आपसे यही सवाल है कि 80s. So from the 80s till now.
Get your decades right.
Yes, trying. On a retro radio station, we better do that, right? Anil sir, आपसे ये सवाल है कि what is that X factor between the two of you that keeps making you all come back together बार-बार आज 2022 में भी?
I think एक ही चीज़ कहूँगा कि we both love films, we love being on the set, we love telling stories, and we love, both of us love being part of a director's vision, and we go with the vision, and we love acting. We just are passionate about acting, and we both love laughing. We love laughing, and we just and making fun of ourselves. So Satish खुद का मजाक उड़ाता हूँ, मैं अपना मजाक उड़ाता हूँ, और जब सतीश नहीं होता तो मैं सतीश की बुराई करता हूँ, जब मैं नहीं रहता हूँ तो सतीश मेरी बुराई करता है.
Laughter makes the world go round. Okay. Can we have someone else in the audience right here? Can we have a mic here, please?
Thank you. Hi Harsh. Hi Anil sir. हर्ष, जैसा सर ने बताया कि आपने उनको ये स्क्रिप्ट दी थी, आप चाहते थे कि वो ये कैरेक्टर करें, तो क्यों आपको ये लगा कि इस कैरेक्टर के लिए सर ही परफेक्ट हैं? और आपको लगता है कि जो फादर सन डुओ, एक जब आप लोग साथ में आते हैं तो एक और इंटरेस्ट बढ़ जाता है, एक वेल पैकेज कह लीजिए, या ज़्यादा वो बन जाता है?
Yeah, I think it's be easier to answer that question once you guys have seen the film. But no, I mean, I just think, we needed somebody. Raj wanted. Raj and I discussed, the possibility of this happening with Dad, and it just fit. And I think once, for me, the idea was to just kind of try and make sure Raj gets, the correct actors for all the roles, not just Dad's role, but even Fatima and Mukti and Jeetu ji and everyone. So Raj was quite sure about the fact that he wanted Dad, and then it just kind of happened from there.
And also performing with him.
Yeah.
कुछ like he's your father and he's
Right.
superstar. तो जब as an actor आप perform कर रहे हो, screens share कर रहे हो, तो कुछ nervousness रहती है कि किस तरीके से आप लोग दोनों लोगों के लिए?
I think that ice was broken with Vikram's film, and we shot, I think, AK versus AK for 2 or 3 days. I have a smaller role in that film, and that was quite a extroverted character that I was playing in that film, which is very different from who I am in my real life. So I think the ice was kind of broken there, and so by the time we got to Thar, so much time had been spent. We had done a film together that this film had kind of come out, and I try and kind of focus on my job and not get overwhelmed by the situation or who else is in the film. So I don't really see it as family member, or just kind of, because otherwise
let me add to that question, Harsh. Does the fact that you're acting with your father make you a little more edgy and nervous, or a little more comfortable?
Neither. I think I just approach the scene the same way I would if it was anybody else.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
आपका माइक कहाँ गया? ले गए? ओहो, किसके पास पहुंचा?
Mic पहुंचाओ immediately.
Okay, can we see some? Yeah.
20-25 mic और लाओ.
And let's see who else wants to put a question out. Right there, you already have a mic.
Yeah.
So let us we'll take your question.
My question? Yeah. Cool. Raj, I wanted to ask you, Indian cinema has always had a curious relationship with the Western, and we've had our own tradition of Daku films. Recently, we've seen a resurge of the genre. I'm talking about films like Son Chiriya, films like Lal Kaptan, you know, which what you call revisionist Westerns, which put in a lot of social issues into the movies as well. Is this a similar exercise, you know, to explore characters, how local politics, things like that, or is it more stylistic?
No, it's more stylish because the films that you mentioned, they have a sort of a Western sort of a vibe to it, but they haven't gone very deep into that genre. Only, in my opinion, there's been 2 films that have dived deeply into it. One was Joshile. Incidentally, Sir was a part of that. Mr. Shaikh Kapoor was directing it earlier, and I think Sholay. But my inspiration comes from what I saw as a child after watching Clint Eastwood and all those films, and when I used to go to Rajasthan. So I belong to a part of Rajasthan that you see in the film. And it was born out of that.
On that note, Anil sir, what are your favorite Westerns that you remember watching and loving?
So, ये मैं क्या करता हूँ जब मैं कोई भी फिल्म करता हूँ तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि I try my best that दुनिया में जितनी भी उस जॉनर पे फिल्म बनी हो उस किरदार के लिए उस फिल्म के लिए so I see all of them. So thanks to this, you know, the story, the script, I think I've seen most of the best westerns ever made in the world. And जैसे कि राज ने कहा कि कहीं ना कहीं there were other films, but very few films have been made in India. You can count on your fingertips. But yes, of course, there's all the Sergio Leone films. I'm a huge admirer of Sergio Leone. The way he would visualize, use the music, performances, you know, stylish but fun, you know, a lot of fun. So all the Sergio Leone films, and of course there is, lately I've seen one of my favorite films is No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen brothers. I just love the film. I love all the performances, and of course Once Upon a Time in the West, which commercially at that moment didn't do that well, but directed by Sergio Leone, you know, the music was great and I loved the film. So जितनी भी फिल्में वेस्टर्न बनी हैं मैंने सब देखी क्योंकि ये पेंडेमिक के एक साल थोड़ी सी हमने बाद में शुरू की बट इतना वक्त था मेरे पास तो मैंने सारी फिल्में देखी और बहुत बहुत मज़ा आया बट कीपिंग दैट दिस इज़ you can't say that this is a pure Western. It's got love, it's got passion, it's got violence, it's got suspense, it's a thriller. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं because आज की फिल्म है ये and डायरेक्टर और राइटर ने कोशिश की है कि today's younger generation can relate to it because वो जो पुरानी फिल्में थी वेस्टर्न वो उसमें people would not somewhere feel कि नहीं यार वो बात नहीं है but this has got today's feel to it and I think youngsters will relate to the film, all the young viewers and consumers और आज हिंदुस्तान की जो मेजॉरिटी ऑडियंस जो फिल्में कंज्यूम करती है चाहे वो नेटफ्लिक्स पे हो चाहे वो थिएटर पे हो वो are these youngsters and this film caters to those youngsters I feel. Yeah.
Amazing. I think we have someone right there with a...
Hi Harsh. This for you. AK versus AK, Ray and Thar. Are you the new blue-eyed boy for Netflix?
I think I hope that they still want to work with me after this one because I've really pushed for what I wanted but I the thing is the idea is we're in a very interesting time in the world where you can make something and stream it anywhere on the planet. So I think the ability to do that through this platform is you can't put a price on it because you can't predict who your story is going to touch in what part of the world. They have an incredibly broad spectrum of people that subscribe to Netflix and it also takes away, in a way, is the whole monetary aspect of the first day collection and the satellite and all that. So you don't really have to. I mean, I never think about that anyway, but it just puts you at rest where it just becomes about the film. And they're great producers. They're the best in terms of they're very understanding. They're sensitive and empathetic towards the artist. Which is why you get to see AK versus AK, you get to see Ray, you get to see this. Film like Bhavesh Joshi that doesn't do well in cinemas thrives on Netflix. It'll always be there, and it has become what it has now today because of them. So I think no matter what happens, and wherever I go, I'll always be indebted to them. Yeah.
हर्ष हर्ष
राज
आपने हमें बहुत इम्प्रेस किया है आज ट्रेलर में एंड मिर्ज़ा के टाइम में एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में आपने कहा था कि मैं एवरी 2 इयर्स एक फिल्म किया करूँगा अब ऑलरेडी आप लेट हैं आपको स्पीड बढ़ानी पड़ेगी कुछ कहें
No, I want to work a lot more, and I just think as if the opportunity is there, I love to work. We all kind of want to be on set. The more you act, the better you get, and it's all about practice. But the idea is to not compromise on one's creative integrity just to go to work. I think sometimes less is more. I hope everybody likes this film.
अनिल साहब आजकल ये साउथ की फिल्में काफ़ी अपना सिक्का मना रही हैं उनकी मेकिंग भी कुछ डिफरेंट लग रही है बॉलीवुड से आपको क्या लगता है कुछ कंपटीशन होने वाला है आगे चल के
तो ये गलत आदमी से सवाल पूछ रहे हैं आप क्योंकि साउथ ने हमेशा अच्छी फिल्में बनाई हैं हमेशा
करेक्ट
मैं तो जब से मैंने होश संभाला है हमेशा साउथ की फिल्में ने लोगों ने पसंद किया है चाहे वो राम और श्याम हो चाहे वो एक दूजे के लिए हो पता नहीं आप लोगों को ये फिल्में पता है ना तो बहुत बेहतरीन फिल्में बनाई हैं और वो बनाते रहेंगे और दे हैव ऑलवेज बीन काइंड ऑफ एन इंस्पिरेशन मैंने अपना करियर साउथ से शुरू किया मेरी पहली फिल्म जो थी वो एज अ लीडिंग मैन तेलुगु फिल्म थी जहाँ से मुझे प्रोफेशनलिज्म डेडिकेशन डिसिप्लिन मुझे सीखने को मिला मुझे बापू साहब के साथ काम करने को मिला उसके बाद मैंने फिर एक कन्नड़ा फिल्म की वो भी साउथ की थी मणिरत्नम की पहली फिल्म थी एंड उसके बाद मैंने बहुत सारी फिल्में की एक्शन फिल्में की रखवाला इंसाफ की आवाज़ सतीश जी के साथ मैंने 2 फिल्में की वो भी साउथ की एडेप्टेशन थी हम आपके दिल में रहते हैं हमारा दिल आपके पास है दोनों सुपर हिट थी तो साउथ ने हमेशा अच्छी कहानियाँ अच्छी फिल्म टेक्निकली हमेशा ये दौर था है और चलता रहेगा फिल्में अच्छी आएंगी और वो अच्छा काम करते हैं एंड आई ऑलवेज लुक फॉरवर्ड टू ग्रेट डायरेक्टर्स with a great vision and I always admired them and I think मुझे I don't get surprised ये तो होना ही है और होता रहेगा जिंदगी भर
Right. We have someone right here who's been waiting for a question.
Hello everyone, I'm Akshay from INS. Raj, my question is for you that in terms of music, apart from the Western spaghetti, there are also strong influences of the Rajasthani folk. So what was the idea behind the music designing of the film?
So when we decided, Ajay Jayanti composed the music. When we decided on the music, it was that we will have a smattering of Rajasthani folk, but a larger picture would be that we would have music that is a little more in tune with the tone of the film. And we've seen a lot of Rajasthani music coming into films, Gujarati, Punjabi. So we wanted to move away a little and be a little true to the genre, but with a smattering of Rajasthani folk in it. We've used instruments that are generally not used. So.
Okay, can we have questions?
Hi, Anil. Sana here from Indian Express. Towards your right, yeah. Harsh, of course, spoke about how he doesn't look at working with his father a very special or a different experience. But Anil, how has been your experience? Was that paternal responsibility comes in when you're shooting with him? And added to that, you worked with both Sonam and Harshvarrdhan. How different and similar are they as actors?
You're trying to create sibling rivalry over here?
I'm sure it's there already.
Yeah, no, it's not there. So, obviously, as Harsh said, that, AK was the film. which, you know, somewhere broke the ice. And that the tentativeness, the anxiousness was there for me on the first day when I was shooting for AK versus AK. Matter of fact, I was more nervous than he was. And but because it was a, you know, long monologue, मैंने अपने करियर में इतना लंबा मोनोलॉग नहीं किया है. मैंने वो हमेशा डायरेक्टर बोलते हैं इसको तोड़ तोड़ के लो यार, इतना लंबा मेरे से होगा नहीं. So when that long monologue came and when he gave the shot, and you know, Vikram and Anurag both have been very encouraging as well as very, very critical about Harsh. You know, they both. And they do it more out of love so that he becomes better and better. And so they both started, was, you know, सबकी अनुराग ने ताली बजाई, विक्रम आके पहली बार इसको, you know, जाके हक कर लिया. तो मेरे को अनुराग हर्ष बोलता है यार पूरे भावेश जोशी में इसने आज तक इतने प्यार से मेरे से बात ही नहीं की और हक किया. So there I saw what he's capable of. लोगों को एक गलत इंप्रेशन है कि बहुत सीरियस है, इंट्रोवर्ट है, you know, sometimes perceptions, जैसे मेरे बारे में पहले कुछ perception था, फिर चेंज हुआ, हर 10 साल में चेंज होता रहता है. एंड इनके बारे में ऐसा था. तो जब मैंने देखा कि इस तरह इन्होंने वो सीन किया which was so funny, and I was happy that the entire media, all the critics and everybody just praised his work, and they loved what he did. तो कहीं ना कहीं रिलीफ भी था और खुशी भी थी, and I was proud. मैं अगर इसकी जगह होता तो मैं नहीं फिल्म करता. AK वर्सेस AK मुझे ऑफर होती है और बोलता है कि भैया, you know, your father is there a film and he is the hero of the film और ये छोटा सा रोल करना है. मैं बोलता मेरे को फादर का रोल दो. You understand? So this is the way the younger generation is today. They are fearless, and at least he is, and which I admire, and I'm very proud of him. And so when we were shooting in Thar, एक दो suggestion मैंने दिए, but the suggestions were rejected. Yeah, मैंने बोला तू ऐसा कर, नहीं डैड ये गलत है. And then I said, अच्छा देख करके बता साले. Then किया, then he was right and I was wrong. So he did it in the way he believed was right. Then of course Satish was there. So Satish ने भी जब शॉट देखा तो मेरे पास सर बात तो है. You know how it is. तो बात फैलती है, वो पता चलता है. और कोई भी चीज़ जो धीरे फैलती है उसका impact धीरे धीरे होता है. So that's what it is. So there is nothing very, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं थी, कोई nervousness नहीं, anxiousness नहीं. I just enjoyed working with him, and it's a जैसे कि हम लोग शूटिंग कर रहे थे तो मैंने इसके बाल देखे. मैंने उदयन को बोला, उदयन is our CEO of the company. मैंने यार कोई हेयर ड्रेसर या कोई मेकअप क्या है, कैसा लग रहा है यार, मुझे बाल ऐसे हैं और ये वो ऐसा. तो बोला यार बजट नहीं था. मेरा बजट नहीं था यार, मेरे से ले लेते पैसे. बोला नहीं यार, बोला नहीं वो बजट नहीं था तो हमने सजेस्ट किया कि इसको कर ले. तो फर्स्ट डे जब वो हुआ तो अपना बाल और हेयर, तो फिर हर्ष ने बोला यार हटाओ यार, ना मेरे को हेयर ड्रेसर चाहिए ना मुझे मेकअप चाहिए. सो दिस होल फिल्म ही इज डन विदाउट अ हेयर ड्रेसर एंड देयर इज नो मेकअप मैन.
वाओ.
ना कोई हेयर ड्रेसर है ना कोई मेकअप है. सो दैट्स द वे you know today generation is. They don't need this paraphernalia and entourage and all. तो उसने किया है. तो what you see on screen, there is no hairdresser, there is no makeup. हम लोग सब बाल जरा बाल ठीक करना यार, कैसा लग रहा हूँ मैं. You know, that kind of stuff. But that's what it is. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Can someone have a mic given to this gentleman? Do we have someone that's that side? Okay.
Hi, Harsh. My question's for you. With this Netflix project, Thar, you're going to be debuting as a producer. How do you feel about this new role, and how has your experience been so far?
You know, it kind of just happened by accident in a way where this film was supposed to be produced by Vikram Motwani. He called me about it in March 2018 when he was editing Bhavesh Joshi, and it was supposed to be a phantom film. That's when I met Raj for the first time. After that, the company dissolved. They all went their separate ways, and there was no phantom anymore. So I found myself in a situation where I was very new. I was only 2 films old. This was before Ray and AK versus AK. Raj was new as a director, although he had acted a lot before. And we had a really interesting script which was very different from what was being made even now. But imagine that like 4 years ago, there was the streaming thing hadn't really kicked off the way that it is now. So we went around for a year to several producers, and at that time it was supposed to be a theatrical film, and it was, you know, it's quite, I don't want to say too much about the film, but it's not your traditional stereotypical Hindi film format film. So that was a difficult process, so we persevered for about a year. In that year, we ended up spending a lot of time together. We used to meet at my house every couple of weeks. We used to work on the script. And he knew that I was the protagonist now, so obviously he started kind of interpreting the character in a slightly more unique, different way. It was unique to me in a way. And so through that journey, the process kind of started. And then I think it was 2019, and a producer came to offer me a love story. And I said, I'm not too interested in this type of thing, but I have a really good script, you know, why don't you read it? And he read it and he liked it. And he came on board at the time to do this film in a much smaller way than, you know, what you're seeing now, you know. But we were quite excited, and at that time then we started kind of casting and trying to put it together. And then we spoke to Dad, after which we did a test shoot, what Satish ji talked about briefly. We shot 3 scenes from the film. I'll tell you what the scenes are after you see the film. But we shot it for very nominal, almost no money. We shot it in Andheri, somewhere in a rented space. And 1 scene out of those 3 turned out quite well. So we started shopping that scene around, saying that, you know, this is the script, this is the test shoot, I'm going to act in it, Raj is going to direct it, Anurag has helped write it. And that's when Netflix came on board. So by the time we had a funder, I had already been, Raj and I had been trying to do it for almost 18 months. Then we were supposed to shoot in 2020 March, because you can't shoot in Rajasthan in the summers, and then post the monsoons it's too green, and we wanted more of a barren kind of landscape. So it was very seasonal in terms of when we could go, and then COVID happened. So this was right after the AK versus AK shoot. So he was busy every day, obviously, on set. I had a small role, I finished it, got into prep. That's when we signed Shreya to shoot the film, and Vasik came and all of that. And then we were all ready to go, and then we had to wait at home for another 10 months. So in those 10 months, then he got free. We both sat on the script a lot more. It, you know, developed it a lot more. Then Netflix were very kind to us because they gave us more of a leeway with the money that we could spend and how large really we could kind of make the film. And so for me, it's been 4 years. For him, it's been 8, a little more, 4+ years. And it didn't, you know, then obviously Netflix kind of had their own great ideas about the script. And so we collaborated with them. Then we went to shoot. Then there were challenges on set. We came back, we watched edits, we bettered things. So it's been incredibly educational, stressful, but in a very healthy way. And I don't only, I think acting is something I'm doing right now and I'm really enjoying it. But for me, I don't think any of us should limit ourselves to saying, I'm only an actor and I'm going to be an actor for the rest of my life. You know, I'm somebody that just loves films. So I want to do it all. Yeah. And there's no better way to learn than working with Vikramaditya Motwani, Vasan Bala, Rakesh, Om Prakash Mehra, Raj, Anurag Kashyap. These are the best minds in the business. So you have intimate experience with them as a leading actor and a producer. It's definitely going to enrich you in ways. And when I came on stage, Minnie asked me, you know, about the producer thing. And it was honestly just to make sure that no external forces could kind of water down his vision, you know, so yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's deep insight.
Yeah. Yeah, my question. Hello.
There's a gentleman here.
Yeah. Hi, Harsh. Long time. Anil, sir, after a long time. My question is to Harsh. Harsh, just wanted to know how much liberty you took while working with living legend Anil Kapoor, because every actor's dream is to work with Anil Kapoor. and you have already in-house you have done. So how much liberty you took while sharing the screen?
Liberty
In acting?
in terms of, oh, no, I just, like I said, I think I was just focused on my job. You know, try not to get overwhelmed by the situation. And when you're in the scene, you have to think of the other person as the character in the film and not the persona of the actor or the celebrity. And so I was just really focused on my role, really.
Fatima, question for you. While sharing screen with Harsh, how was your experience and chemistry with him and Anil Kapoor sir?
बहुत ही बढ़िया मतलब अमेजिंग था बिकॉज आई लाइक आई सेड दैट ही इज़ वेरी कोऑपरेटिव वेरी सपोर्टिंग हज की बात कर रही हूँ पहले हाँ मतलब
Just to be clear.
नहीं पहले उनके बारे में तो ही इज़ बीन वेरी सपोर्टिंग एंड फॉर हिम टू बी एबल टू ब्रिंग दिस प्रोजेक्ट टुगेदर इज़ क्वाइट इनक्रेडिबल एट दिस यंग एज सो with him I've had a great time and with AK sir तो क्या बोलूँ मैं क्या बोलूँ what an aura and magical aura this man has. He is incredible. Every time he would come on set, no, ऐसे there was this electrical bolt, मतलब volt, क्या बोलते हैं उसको bolt ही बोलते हैं हाँ वो and it's so infectious because the moment he would come in you would all feel एकदम as if बहुत energy आ गई. Even like when I was low, I would just speak to him and instantly I would feel good. So he has this incredible magical aura and I'm so glad that I got to share the screen space with him. So I'm very happy. And Satish ji and Jitu ji and Raj, you also. I love you too.